All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the first Sunday watch list of 2024. Welcome back to another Sunday watch list. Let's get right into it, right? So, as always, we start off with SPY and QQ, and then we move on into individual tickers. So, going on into some of the price action that happened last week. As you guys can see, we have been selling off. Let's start off on the 1 hour time frame. We have been selling off for the past week. First week of 2024 has just been a downtrend, and I have this trend line right here on the hourly that connects from here. One, two, three. And as we start getting back above it, we start to retest it on the upside. So this is the fourth touch. Friday, we have the fifth touch above it. And we're starting to get some type of buying pressure off of these levels down here. As you guys can see, this zone down here is respected, and we do get bought up off of this area. We come down near that area. We get bought up off of this area. And notice how we do come up and we come and test this supply. If I go to a 5 minute time frame, you guys are going to see it a lot more clearly. Every time we come up here, we get a rejection, right? Off of this 470.4 to 471. Every single time, right? Even on Friday, we got a rejection off of that 470 and we make the move down, right? But this time we did not get a move all the way back down to the lows. So we're starting to get picked up from this 466 now twice already. So what it's looking like on this hourly time frame is that this could be a potential reversal back to the upside now. This could be, right? What do you look for in reversals? You look for a higher low. So if this is the low and this is the higher low and this is the now a new high, we would need to break above this high and, basically retest this area of supply, basically a break and retest of this area for that to be a new higher low, and we can catch this move a lot higher back into the highs. So that is if that is the low. If the low has been put in here, that would be the area. But let's just say we do catch a rejection right here. So this is the second scenario. Let's say we get back up there, we catch another rejection. Then yes, I am expecting a move back down into the downside. Anything below this 464 area, that is where things can start getting weak and we will start making a move lower. On the daily, this does still look bearish though. On the daily, this does still look bearish with these two daily shooting star hammers. Looks like we could have room, like I said, below that 464, pretty much nothing but room back down into 460, 461. So should be interesting. Let's see how this does play out. As far as economic data, we don't have nothing major until Thursday and Friday, which is CPI and PPI, pretty big catalyst. So that is something I would wait for. Heading into Monday, those are just the levels to pay attention to. This could still be a rejection area, and this 464. Just be on watch for these two levels to see where we get to. So very similar with QQ. The daily chart still looks very bearish, right? These two shooting star hammers pretty much are indicating more downside, but on the smaller time frames, like 4 hour on the 4 hour time frame, you can see that we are starting to catch a bounce from this 394 area and the rejection level on the QQ. The areas of importance for the QQ are going to be this 399.5 to this 400 level. I'm going to go to a 5 minute time frame to show you guys why. Every time we come to this area, we have been getting rejected here. Once, twice, and here's that third time, right? So we have a lot of supply up there. But even if we were to break above that, it's like not much room. The very next supply is very, very close to it. As you guys can see, we get rejected here, we bounce over here, rejected over here. If I go back into these areas, this is a big, just a big zone to pay attention to. Very, very well respected level. So I am not comfortable going long unless we reclaim this level. So for longs on QQ is very simple. I'm not interested in longs until we get above this level, and then we can start heading back into 403. This is going to continue to play as my rejection level for QQ as long as we stay below that. Pay attention to price action in that area, and those will be the rejection points here. So for the downside, if we do just start heading lower, below this 394 area is the level of interest, right? Below this area, and pretty much this area. So if we get back below that area, we should have room down to 392 and 391 area. So just some levels of interest for QQQ to pay attention to. Heading into individual tickers, Apple's still looking pretty weak. As long as it stays below this 182.3 to 181.6, this does have room down into 178, which is pretty much the next zone to the downside. Still looking fairly weak. On the daily, we are bouncing off of that daily 200. So if we were to reclaim that 182 to 183 level, Apple is going to start heading back into 184 and back into these 186, 188 levels. Not my favorite setup as of right now. Amazon did come down to the bottom of this range down here, and it is starting to catch a bounce. So this can have potential room back down into 148. Let's get into some of my favorite setups for the week though. Nvidia. Nvidia looks like we are starting to make a move back to the upside, right? We have this trend line 1, 2, 3, and we have a 4-hour bullish hammer off a nice level of demand, this 488 level. Notice how we did hold that level really, really well. So as long as we can hold above that level, look what happens off of that level. We catch a move all the way up here. We catch moves up here, catch a bounce up here, and here we are catching another bounce, targeting above that area. If we can start getting above this 500, then it has room back into pretty much 504 to 505. So what I would be looking for on Nvidia is for us to hold this 488 for the move back into 500. Looks pretty good. Definitely interested in that one. AMD. AMD is a good either or setup. This is also looking like we're starting to push higher, but this 140 area is a huge level of resistance. What I will be looking for on AMD is a reclaim of that 140, 141 area for a move back into these recent highs. Pretty simple on that one. If this area does reject, this is going to be like a left shoulder head, right shoulder. But as of right now, it is looking like it wants to get a break above that. But of course, we stay open-minded, right? And we pay attention to price action at those major levels. My next favorite one is going to be Meta. Notice how we have one touch here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these areas are starting to hold up. Watch list last week was on point, very, very good watch list. Literally went from level to level. Now we're coming down into this zone and holding this zone, this previous supply, turning to demand. We're starting to hold it. Going back into the recent demand, which is now supply since we're below it, this 351 to 353 area. We're starting to get a reclaim as of right now. So as long as we hold above this 350 area, I can see Meta starting to get a push back into this 356 and pretty much 360 back into the highs for Meta. So Meta is looking pretty good. So some of these names are looking good for reversals, such as Meta and Nvidia. Those are my two favorite watches for the week. Those are pretty much my main watches for the week. QQ on the weekly is approaching that weekly 90 MA. We have been holding that every time since December 4th. Here we go again for another retest. But it is looking a little bit more bearish on this retest compared to the last one, right? So stay open-minded. The daily chart looks a little bit more bearish than some of these smaller time frames. Those are going to be the main levels to pay attention to. And I'm going to just keep it short and simple. I believe that throughout the middle of the week and after CPI and PPI, that is when we will get better setups and more market direction. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great trading week, and thank you guys for watching.